How old is my boy Nightwing, aka Dick Grayson? In the media like comic books, in which we have sliding timelines in order to keep characters young, reboots and retcons that changes histories, exactly how do we know how old a specific character is? And more importantly, a character like Nightwing who starts as a kid and becomes an adult. Ironically, Nightwing's actually the easiest Batman family member to figure out his age. And he's kind of like a Rosetta Stone to figuring out other characters' ages based off him. So let's take a moment and look at all the facts and details and see if we can narrow down a window of how old Nightwing actually is. First thing we should probably do is figure out what year of Batman's career did Dick Grayson become Robin. Luckily for us, it's actually an easy task. In Batman 437, part of the Batman Year 3 storyline, we get a statement from Bruce that he has been Batman for 2 years. This is supported by Dark Victory, in which it is a retelling of Dick Grayson's origin. It takes place right after Long Halloween, which is a Year 2 Batman story. So as you can see, we can comfortably say that Dick Grayson had become Robin somewhere at the end of Batman Year 2 and the beginning of Batman Year 3. However, now comes to the tricky part, which is determining how old Dick Grayson was when he became Robin. See, Dick Grayson has multiple statements of different ages in which he originally became Robin at. In the New Teen Titans issue number 37, when confronting Bruce, Dick tells Jason that he has been playing the role of Robin since he was 8. In Batman Dark Victory issue number 9, Batman states that Dick Grayson lost his parents at the same age Bruce did, which canonically for Bruce is 8 years old. In Secret Origins, Nightwing and Johnny Thunder, we see that Dick Grayson lost his parents at 10 years old, and right before he turned 11, became Robin. In Robin Year 1, Bruce is dropping Dick off at public high school, which means he has to at least be 14 years old. But I actually think it's Batman issue 416, which is not only the best answer for when he becomes Robin, but also the best answer for when he becomes Nightwing. In this issue, we find out that Dick Grayson was 19 years old when he was shot by the Joker and fired by Batman. And we find out that Batman and Dick Grayson were partners for 6 years. So if he was 19 when he got fired, minus 6, that means he was 13 when he became Robin. And we also find out in this issue that he hasn't seen Bruce in over a year. That is the time in which the beginning of the New Teen Titans run happens, including the Judas Contract, which he becomes Nightwing. So we can assume that he becomes Nightwing around the age of 20. This is where things get a lot easier to figure out Dick Grayson's age, and you actually have to use Tim Drake to do so. In Tim Drake's origin, A Lonely Place of Dying, specifically Batman issue 441, this takes place right after Jason dies. So that means Dick Grayson has to be around 20 years old. And it's stated here that Tim Drake is 13. And then we see in Detective Comics issue 941, in this issue, Tim Drake is presumed dead. Don't worry, he's fine. And spoiler gives Batman an Ivy University letter that Tim got saying he got accepted into university. That means Tim is probably 18 years old. Taking in consideration the craziness of a sliding timeline, that means from the start of him becoming Robin up until that point, which is the beginning of Rebirth, was 5 years for Tim Drake and the rest of the Bat family. So if you add those 5 years on to Dick Grayson being 20, that means he's 25 at the beginning of Rebirth. But the problem is we don't know how much time has passed since the start of Rebirth. We've gone through various different retcons and revamps and small minor changes to continuity, but we can assume that it's been probably a year, which means that Dick Grayson comfortably can be said to be 26 to 27 years old. But remember when I said Dick Grayson's age is kind of like a Rosetta Stone? You can use it to figure out the ages of other characters who has less statements. Take, for example, Barbara Gordon, whose age is either stated to be the same age as Dick Grayson or 2 years older than him, which means Barbara can be anywhere between 26 and 29. Wally West is said to be born in the same year of Dick Grayson, so that means that they're both between 26 and 27, which is wild to think with Wally having the family he has. You can then apply this logic to Batman. Even though you can figure out Batman's age without using Dick Grayson, it's actually a pretty good way of doing it. We know in Batman Year 1, specifically issue 404, that Bruce is stated to be 25 years old when he comes back and becomes Batman. That means he's 27 when Dick Grayson becomes Robin. If you add the 6 years of them working together, Bruce is about 33 when Dick becomes Nightwing. And then you add 5 to 6 more years on top of that, that means Bruce has to be in his late 30s, probably 38 or 39, which makes sense. Hell, you can take it one step further. Batman and Superman are considered to be born in the same year. That means Superman is between 38 and 39. And generally speaking, Lois Lane is considered 1 year younger than Superman, so she's probably 37 years old. Like I said, Dick Grayson is like a Rosetta Stone. It's easy to find out the range in which his age is, and then you can kind of branch off and figure out other characters' age utilizing his age. Hell, you already figured out by this video how old Tim Drake is right now. But hey, here's the thing. Comic books are constantly changing and evolving. Things get retconned, reboot, or even just slightly changed. That's why I gave a window in which Dick Grayson's age could be. Because maybe he starts when he's 8, maybe he's 10, maybe he's 13. But either way, if you use the math and you look at it, you can figure out at least within a 2 to 3 year gap of how old he is. If you guys enjoyed this video and you would like to know the other Bat family members' age and how I get at it without having to use the Rosetta Stone, just let me know and I'd be more than happy to do another video.